What we've got here is failure to communicate.
This will probably be a pretty short review. I just watched this not a couple days ago. It's a classic that I've been meaning to watch. Cool Hand Luke from 1967. Of course, the Paul Newman starring movie. He is obviously the main character, Luke, and starts out he's cutting the heads off some parking meters, and he's super drunk and just gets thrown into jail, and say that he has a pretty good military record, and don't really know why he's there. He's going to be there maybe a year. Pretty much just doing a lot of chain gang work. They're not tied up in a line with chains, but they're doing road work. It's like a work camp, I guess is what you call it, type of prison. And he just doesn't really want to conform, just doesn't want to, do what anybody tells him. He's just super cool. Well, he got his nickname, nickname given to him by Dragline, played by George Kennedy. I don't really recognize George Kennedy except for I know he was in the Naked Gun movies. Other than that, there's only other real actor that I recognized was Dennis Hopper as one of the other inmates. He doesn't have a really huge role or anything, but he does show up in a couple scenes, and he's super young. But yeah, so plot-wise, Luke is in this prison, just doesn't really want to do what anybody tells him to, and tries to escape multiple times, and just really against this system for some reason. And while he's there, he just doesn't really care what anybody thinks, but he becomes an inspiration for the other inmates. They just really rally around him, even though he doesn't care if they do. It's not what he's trying to, he's not aiming for that. They all just kind of look up to him because of his kind of blasé attitude, I guess. And so it's kind of interesting that way. They really make him sort of like a savior figure. It's a pretty deliberate in some scenes where he's after the infamous egg eating scene where he's eating 50 hard-boiled eggs. He's laid out on the table in the crucifix position, so it's pretty obvious there. But it's a really good movie. It's kind of I don't know why it's hard to talk about the plot and stuff, but it's really good. I liked it a lot. It's kind of reminded me of Easy Rider, kind of that counterculture going against what the norm is at the time, I would assume. It was directed by Stuart Rosenberg. I didn't really see many of the really big credits in his name, except for he did the original, the Amityville Horror. But Paul Newman's amazing in it. He's a great actor. I haven't seen a ton of his movies. Seen The Hustler and Color of Money and a couple others. But yeah, this is definitely a great performance by him. So I had seen parts of the movie, just hadn't seen the whole thing all the way through. I'm glad I did. It's really easy to follow. I was kind of surprised how, sometimes with older films, they're a lot slower paced, and it has a bit of a slow pace to it, but it moves along pretty well and keeps you really interested. I was kind of surprised how entertaining it was throughout the whole thing. Oh yeah, and Harry Dean Stanton shows up too. He plays a couple songs on the guitar, which is cool. So yeah, definitely worth a watch if you're wanting to catch up on your Paul Newman movies, just classic movies that you need to see. I would 100% recommend this. I'm giving it a 4.25 out of 5, so definitely worth your time and worth a watch. And it's an easy watch too. It's not a hard one to get into, I don't think. So yeah, check it out.
It's the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. I don't like it.